Hey y'all, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about who inspires me, what kind of material, and I tend to be a nonfiction reader and I'm a nonfiction writer also. In each of the areas of my life, there have been some very interesting divine appointments with some material. For example, our pastor did a series on the ruthless elimination of hurry by John Mark Comer. It was really, I just didn't put it down because it really addresses like our craziness and how, frankly, social media and the internet and all of that has just kind of just consumed us. One of the lines he says that I just really loved was, hurry kills relationships and love takes time, hurry doesn't have it. And how true is that? That when we sit down, that we're thinking of the next moment or the next thing we have to do, so we don't really give genuine time and conversation and connection to our relationships, regardless of what they are: a customer, if you have a business, our family, our kids, your spouse if you have one. It's not true connection in that sense, and in the community in the way that the Lord designed. I also love Lisa TerKeurst, as I talk in my book a lot about. Uninvited was one of my favorite books of hers. This one is I Want to Trust You, But I Don't. It leans in to our relationship with Jesus in regard to those boundaries and that access. One of her quotes is, sometimes I can have more faith in my fears coming true than in God coming through for me. And on a mental level, sitting here, I would say to you, I never don't trust that the Lord will come through for me. That would be awful. I don't ever feel that way. But if we sit in our fears and we believe that they're honestly going to be happening, then isn't that the same thing? And I discovered recently in my physical health that fear is so cellular. And so each of these things, the emotional, the mental, the physical, the spiritual, all interact with one another and can manifest in so many ways, in anxiety and fears. Just really taking away your mental focus, your emotional connection, can cause actual physical trauma and chronic disease, frankly, if you let anxiety and fear go unchecked. A book I absolutely love, I'm such a science geek, it's called The Liver Cure. And it goes into incredible detail about how the liver operates and how we, through what we do or don't eat and the actions that we take physically, can turn on and off good genetic code, or actually turn on genetic code that does something bad without having the proper follow-up to shutting that back off for certain functions. It's so fascinating. I mean, if you can get excited about following the real science, I highly recommend it. The liver does everything. Here's a quote, the data, really, it's not just a quote. The liver never rests. Because the liver plays such an important role in supplying all the nutrients, proteins, and structural components of all the cells in your body, and especially because it is your number one protection against harmful substances entering your body, it is continually at work. We take good care of our car. We take it in, we get the maintenance done, the oil change. If the tire light comes on, we go change our tires. Well, our liver is our, main service engine light. So we need to take good care of it. And so there's only certain ways you can find out if things are, going poorly there. One is to wait for something really bad to happen physically. And by that time, God created us so well that we're really in bad shape, because there are so many system upon systems that will help back each other up. So getting those annual screenings and tests that I've talked about before on my channel is just really important. I know some people don't want to go until they have some sort of symptom, but how many times have we heard over and over in the news that somebody had zero symptoms, but they went in for, maybe their knee was bugging them or something, and then they go in and find out they have liver cancer. So you really do need to do those annual checks, whether you think you got something going on or not. One of the wonderful, again, another series that our pastor did on relationships. This is how to avoid falling in love with a jerk. And before everybody gets mad about the title, the funny thing is it could mean you too. It's not, it's pointing, you point the finger and there's, the four coming back at you. It's really very fascinating. It's the actual science on the RAM, the relationship attachment model, where you go from know, trust, rely, commit, and touch. And if you jump the line on any of those, it has just been proven over and over, and not just faith-based, which is where I would come from entering a relationship, but in any relationship, when you jump the line and just jump in and start at the physical level, it is just proven over and over and over that you don't take the time then to have mental and emotional and spiritual connections with someone. This was an interesting quote from, I'm sorry, I didn't say the author, John Van Epp. He's a PhD. It is possible to combine the resources of your mind with the passions of your heart. And so the knowing, the trusting, the relying, the committing, and then heading into the touch. And he's not overly, critical of like saying don't do X, Y, or Z. That's not where it's getting laid out. It's just merely talking about the fact that when we let our passions, the lust of the flesh and what have you, just kind of dictate, well, of course, if you lead with the physical, why would anybody want to then have to put in the effort on the mental, emotional, and spiritual if they didn't have to? Like kind of the old saying, if you can have the cow, get the milk for free, then, why buy the cow? So I know that's all awful and I butchered that, but you understand what I'm saying. So anyway, these are the kind of books I read and that inspire me and help me kind of drill down on the emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical, which is what I have fun talking about in my story. I know that my story has got some rough stuff, and a lot of people find it hard to believe that I could say that I have fun in the telling of my story, but that's the point, is that I didn't sit in the victimhood, that I have in fact been walked through by the Holy Spirit my healing journey, and every one of these people inspire me in each area, so I highly recommend them. Y'all, post in the comments what you are reading and who inspires you. Have a great day.